Hi everybody, this is the Football Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Football Hut, and hope you like this video. I'm going to talk about the trade deadline, which is on October 31st, Halloween, of all things. And we're going to talk about, in particular, Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins. But before we get into this, hit that subscribe button. If this is stuff you want to listen to and watch, smash that subscribe button. Trying to get to 300 subscribers. Hopefully we'll get that with this video. So here we go. This is from the Bleacher Report. 4 teams that should pursue Kirk Cousins trade after the Justin Jefferson injury. Okay, here we go. Let's see what they have to say here. The Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings' tumultuous 2023 NFL season has gone from bad to worse after ESPN's Adam Schefter revealed that All-Pro wideout Justin Jefferson will be heading to the injured reserve due to a hamstring strain. The Vikings were already facing an uphill battle to reach the playoffs following their 1-4 start, and are likely staring down a lost season with their top offensive talent now unavailable until Week 10 of the year. As you know, he's the best wide receiver in football. On the bright side, Minnesota's front office now has a much easier decision to make regarding when to start engaging in a rebuilding process. With the October 31st trade deadline looming, Vikings brass would have been forced to decide on becoming buyers with the goal of salvaging a sinking campaign or selling off assets while looking ahead to the future. Selling is now the more obvious choice, as it could net Minnesota some much-needed draft capital to reinforce the roster within 2024 and beyond. Given Cousins is playing out the final year of his contract and set to hit the open market this coming spring, Minnesota should trade the veteran quarterback to maximize returns. While the team won't lose out entirely if he elects not to deal the 35-year-old, Cousins will be a coveted free agent who should net a decent compensatory selection, assuming the Vikings let him walk with following 5+ relatively fruitless years. It could return premium draft picks by shipping him off to a potential contender desperate for a competent passer. As bad as Minnesota's record looks, Cousins has actually been faring quite well at an individual level and is still in his prime. He's kept the Vikings competitive in nearly every contest. All 4 of their losses have been by 7 points or fewer, including a 27-20 defeat against the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs this past weekend, while completing a respectable 67.2% of his throws for 1,498 yards and 13 touchdowns over the first 5 weeks. That has him on pace to exceed the 4,500 yards and 29 yards he amassed in 22 when the Vikings went 13-4 in the regular season. Several teams stand out for their likelihood to pursue him ahead of the trade deadline, while some may have to do some salary cap finagling to fit the Michigan State Products' $35 million contract on their books. The payoff could be well worth it. It is worth noting that Cousins does have a no-trade clause in his contract and would have to prove any deal the Vikings might be willing to make. But it's likely the signal caller would welcome a chance to chase a ring. With that in mind, here are 4 teams that could make a run at Cousins should he become available. Number 1, the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are chock full of talented skill position players whom the franchise expended first-round picks on over the last few years, but the development is currently being squandered by lack of competence under center. The team didn't have an heir apparent to Matt Ryan on the roster when it traded the longtime star away following the 21 campaign, and has since relied on veteran journeyman Marcus Mariota and 22 third-round pick Desmond Ridder to run the offense. Mariota lasted less than a full season before Atlanta's coaching staff handed the reins to Ridder. While the Cincinnati product didn't completely underwhelm his rookie season, he completed 63.5% of his passes for 708 yards and 2 touchdowns while avoiding any interceptions and posting a 2-2 record in his 4 starts. It didn't inspire much confidence either. The 24-year-old hasn't displayed much growth in year 2, and while he's taken the team to a 3-2 record while connecting on 65.4% of his throws for 1,073 yards and 4 touchdowns, he's also tossed interceptions and has done a poor job getting some of his top pass catchers involved. Kyle Pitts has noticeably struggled with Ritter under center. The tight end was regarded as a can't-miss prospect when he was taken number 4 overall in 2021 and had a strong rookie season, finishing with 1,026 yards and a touchdown on 68 receptions, but saw his sophomore campaign derailed by injury and inconsistencies. Things have not gotten better in 23, with Pitts reeling in just 18 passes for 208 yards thus far. Drake London, the team's first-round pick last year, is also slumping after securing 72 passes for 866 yards and 4 touchdowns last year. The USC product isn't on pace to make a leap after hauling a meager 17 passes for 204 yards and 2 scores in 2023. While some of these disappointing performances can be attributed to the presence of Bijan Robinson, the generational running back prospect who the Falcons landed at number 8 overall this year, and the workload he's taken on, much of the blame can be attributed to Ritter's mediocre play. Upgrading to Kirk Cousins might be the shot in the arm this offense needs to send from the middle of the pack into the upper echelon. Cousins clearly understands how to get his top pass catchers involved and has been responsible for developing 2 wideouts into stars since arriving in Minnesota. Adam Thielen had his best season after Cousins signed with the Vikings in 2018. Cousins also elevated Justin Jefferson to the league's best wideout, evidenced by his incredible 360 receptions for 5,396 yards and 28 touchdowns over his first 55 career games. It may not be time to give up on Ritter's chance to become a viable starting quarterback, but it's obvious he's not ready to maximize the talent on his roster yet either. Making a move to acquire Cousins would allow him more time to develop on the bench and allow the Falcons to contend until he's ready to take over again. Number 2, the New England Patriots. Well, we'll see about this one. The Patriots' offense has hit rock bottom after quarterback Mac Jones was pulled in back-to-back blowout losses. It's an especially disheartening showing from the third-year signal caller, considering the team made sweeping personnel changes this offseason in an attempt to reboot a failing offense. Inept coaching staff members like Matt Patricia and Joe Judge were removed from their posts and replaced by new offensive coordinator in Bill O'Brien, who served in the same role during the successful 2011 campaign, but those decisions have yet to pay off. Now, I wouldn't mention, Bill Belichick is the coach there, and the biggest reason this team isn't good anymore is because Tom Brady's not there. The Patriots have some tough decisions to make regarding the team's future. An NFL executive told The Athletic's Mike Sando that the Patriots should replace Bill Belichick with a young offensive-minded head coach to find out if Jones is worth keeping. It's debatable whether the Patriots should give Mac Jones one more year. While he has shown glimpses of franchise potential, the 25-year-old has lacked consistency and is now mired in a concerning slump. Oh boy. Well, that's a team that could use Cousins. Let me go to number 4, and then we'll get to number 3. The Washington Commanders. Kirk Cousins began his career with the Commanders and could see it come full circle by finishing it with the franchise. Washington selected him in the 4th round of the 2012 draft as a backup to prize number 2 overall pick, Robert Griffin III. Injuries to the start eventually led to Cousins taking over the QB1 role on a full-time basis in 2015. While he found success that year by bringing Washington to the playoffs and earned his first Pro Bowl nod the following year, the Commanders let Cousins walk after the Vikings offered the quarterback a blockbuster contract as a free agent in 2018. A return to Washington could finally see Cousins and the Commanders make a meaningful playoff run together. The franchise has been to the postseason only once since Cousins departed, and has a single playoff victory since the turn of the millennium. The team has been plagued by quarterback rows since Cousins left, starting a whopping 12 different players under center in that decade span, but does have a decent defense and an intriguing crop of skilled position players. Interesting. And finally, the New York Jets. The Jets look like a legitimate Super Bowl contender heading into the 2023 season, but they have no shot at completing that mission without a quality quarterback. The team took a swing for the fences by trading for Aaron Rodgers, plugging the most glaring hole on a competitive roster with a future Hall of Famer. While it seemed that Rodgers would be the exact player Gangrene needed, the to finally snap the league's longest postseason drought. A torn Achilles just 4 plays into his first regular season game, the franchise seemed to end any hope of bringing home a Lombardi trophy. While the Jets did end a 3-game losing skid this past weekend and moved to 2-3 on the year, Zach Wilson has failed to show much growth since reassuming the starting quarterback role. It is readily apparent that Wilson will not be able to maximize the talent of those around him while avoiding the type of mistakes that will cost New York wins. Rather than flounder through another middling season in which the Jets win enough games on the back of their defense and running game to finish near 500, but still outside the playoff field, they should go get another high-end quarterback if the chance presents itself. Although Cousins would be potentially costly, especially for a team that already gave up a draft capital to get a signal call this season, he is the best. If not the only chance New York has to seriously contend this year. One of the biggest issues the Jets will face when deciding on Cousins' offer will be Rodgers' recovery status. The 39-year-old has maintained he's working to get back on the field in time for a potential playoff run and provided more insight into the recovery last week. During an appearance on the Pat McAfee show, Rodgers said that his rehab is well ahead of the normal protocols. Regardless, the Jets could find themselves in the league's basement by the time Rodgers is ready to suit up again. While Wilson had a decent outing against a hapless Denver Broncos squad on Sunday, who face a much tougher foe in the Philadelphia Eagles this coming weekend, with several difficult tasks on the horizon. Barring an unexpected winning streak, trading for Cousins will become much more appealing leading up to the deadline. As I said, the deadline is on October 31st, so we got less than 3 weeks as I record this video. So we'll find out if Kirk Cousins gets moved. We'll see what kind of moves happen. The Jets need to get themselves, in particular, because I know I'm in New York. It'll be interesting to see if the Jets are able to bring in another quarterback, because nobody's confident in Zach Wilson. So that's the one thing. Nobody has any confidence in Zach Wilson whatsoever. Unfortunately for him, he didn't get that chance to sort of, be like under this mentorship of Aaron Rodgers. Now he's got to go back out on the field and learn this stuff and take his beatings. So, let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut, and I'll see you later.